So this is free sawmill weekend, and Justin brought a log 4 hours away, put it on a trailer and hauled it 4 hours for free sawmill weekend. This is a walnut log. It's 12 foot long, all the way to the end there where it lies off in the crotch. And what we're trying to do here is we're trying to decide, he wants this live edged, and we're trying to, the Y down there is too big for the sawmill. So we've got to cut it down to 24 inches to get it through the throat of the sawmill. We're trying to decide whether we want to take off one limb or both limbs or half of both limbs, or what we want to do to get it onto the sawmill. And we decided to take off a little bit off each side of that Y there at the end. So I don't want to, the throat will take 24 inches, and the sawmill, the LT35, will take 24 inches, and I don't want to cut this and end up with 19 inches or 15 inches or something down there. I want to be right at the 24 inch mark, so I want to get it as wide as possible down there, but I obviously can't fit through the mill. So I'm going to take off the top of this right there where he's pointing his hand. I'm going to take off the top of this log, or the top of that crotch figure, and hopefully get it down to 21. Normally, I was probably talking through this whole video like I normally am. I got my mic on. I got the ceramic mic right on my chest. It's in my pocket. But we were out here sawmilling all day long from 6 a.m. and this is like 4 o'clock in the afternoon. So we've been sawmilling all day long, and my mic, I've just been setting up the camera and recording with the mic, and the mic was on all day and it ran out of batteries, and I never even checked the batteries on the mic. I changed the batteries in the camera a couple times when it stopped recording, but, well, I didn't even do that enough because it stopped recording for hours there. But I never thought about changing the mic on this. They say the mic's supposed to last all day. It's supposed to last 8 hours. Well, I forget that my all day is easily a 12-hour day here. And I never even thought about the mic going dead. That's Justin in the black shirt there. We're hauling off he's hauling up those little bitty walnut pieces, and he's giving them to John, another guy who was here for sawmill weekend. He's a wood turner, and he's going to turn them into something, I don't know what. But he came by and said, I'd love to have some of those little pieces that we mill off there. So he got some of the pieces off the root ball, and he got 2 of the pieces off here. And here we wanted to get that log to where the crotch, we were going to get the most figure out of that crotch log. Those 2 there, they're bracing up. If I push that log all the way over against the dogs, it sticks out too far into the track of the sawmill. So they had to put a board behind the dog to hold it out. Because I think I'm right at about 23, 22 and a half inches down there. So it's got to be right on line. It's got to line up to go right through this throat of the sawmill. It was tough leveling the pith on this log because we had the pith at this end, this close end here, sure, but the far end, you just kind of had to guess on where you were going to come out in that log. He just guessed to the best he could to get this leveled up, and we eyeballed it, and it looks pretty level. This end might be a little high, but it turned out really nice. He's getting 2.5-inch slabs out of this walnut. He wants 2.5-inch slabs. So I'm cutting them at 2 5/8 live edge slabs. So I'm not running a debarker. Here I'm just taking off the fletch, but I'm not running a debarker, and I'm going down 2.5 inches or 2 5/8 inches so that he'll have a 2.5-inch slab. Actually, that Y piece right there I still have that's laying on the ground there. That was a pretty neat Y piece, and I'm going to turn it into an arrow. And now we'll go down, I forgot to set the simple set, so we'll go down 2.5 inches here and see what comes out. Nothing, no real figure comes out of this first slab, but it's still a nice piece of lumber. There weren't as many people at Free Sawmill Weekend as I wanted. You know, my envision of Sawmill Weekend is, you know what I mean, 100 people standing around watching me mill lumber, and 5 other sawmills, but there's still enough people here to where I have to stop and I want to explain some things to people, and I don't want to we're not just here to saw lumber and see how fast this mill can produce lumber. Those guys there are wanting to learn, you know, a little bit about the mill and learn what's going on with the mill, and so I stop every once in a while and explain some things, or why did you cut this, you know, and why did you cut that. And this log really produced some nice figure down there at the crotch. There's some really nice figure down there in this log. I think after this slab I turn it over. We start sawing the other side. I just sped this video up a bunch. It doesn't have any sound. Like I said, my mic was dead. In the background there you can see Don. He's got a YouTube channel. Live free, we live wild, and he's trying to build that cook stove, and it just burnt right through his JP weld. He tried JP welding some heat JP weld on that bucket right there, and it just melted. That JP weld went right through it. But he put out Dawn of America. He put out a really nice video about Sawmill Weekend too on his channel. You can go over to his channel and check that out. He puts out a better video than I do. But I mean, you can see that this isn't a normal day of milling. You know, I don't have 10 people standing around, you know, looking at logs and watching mill. This is all just people who came out for the Free Sawmill Weekend and had a good time, ate some hot dogs and some beans and sawed some lumber. So this isn't like a normal day. This isn't what's happening around my mill on a normal day. You can see that wood stove off in the corner there that he's trying to build, so you can take it out camping with him and you'll have a little wood stove. But it's not working out. This is the second time he's tried that build on that stove, and he can't get it to seal. So smoke comes right out the cracks in the top instead of just out the chimney. Took a real thin slice off here, trying to save every bit of this walnut that I can for Justin. But sometimes a thin piece isn't the way to go.